How's it going, everybody? So in this video, we're going to be talking about value systems. Value systems are extremely important to reflect on and understand. Most people, they don't understand what value systems are, and they mistake the definition of value systems for morals. The fact is, your morals and your ethics, they do play a role in your value systems, but they are a byproduct of one aspect of value systems. And value systems as a whole are actually a lot more complex, deeper, and a lot more meaningful than just what your morals are. Really, your morals are not that important compared to the bigger picture of your value system as a whole. So there's multiple different working definitions that have been proposed for value systems. But basically, it's a system of ideas and concepts about what matters to you in your relationships, what matters to you in your health, what matters to you in your career. And basically, it is literally the underlying philosophies and beliefs that guide your intentions and your choices in every circumstance in your life. And people who think that it's just like, oh, my values are loyalty and my values are honesty and just the greater good and spirituality, they're doing themselves a really big disservice by not clearly defining value systems and kind of just by thinking they know what they're talking about when they haven't actually, even kind of reflected on the definition in the Webster Dictionary, especially if they haven't read a book on value systems. This is like the number one most important thing that you can understand if you are going on a journey of self-development, self-improvement, or if you're just trying to be happy in life. So pretty much all arguments you have with your girlfriend, all kind of like all the things you don't like about other people, things that you don't like about yourself, and also just depression, feelings of kind of like boredom in your life. All of these things are literally due to a lack of alignment with your value systems. Okay? So let's think about this a little bit deeper. Okay? So what matters to you? Okay? So some people's value systems include eating junk food every day, getting high on marijuana, and like partying or something, right? And maybe jacking off to porn or something. And it's like, to the shallow thinking person, you might judge that as bad. It might be, that is bad, and there's all these reasons why that is bad, okay? And for me personally, I might agree with you simply because my value system is similar to your value system, right? But what you have to understand is, if another person is happy engaging in all those toxic behaviors, well, first of all, it's very likely they're not being honest with themselves about how satisfied they are with their life. That's actually very common. And that's a common source of depression, actually, is somebody who is not honest with themselves about how they feel about their behaviors, their life, and what they want to get out of life. But another possibility is that the other person might be completely satisfied living that lifestyle. And there's a lot of people like that. And no matter what you try to tell that person about why their lifestyle is bad, they might never change. A big reason why people do not change or people do change all has to do with their value system, their ability to identify and accurately reflect on their value system, and then how competent are they at actually building the psychological characteristics necessary to build a lifestyle that's in alignment with their values. Okay. So for a lot of people, it's a lot easier just to submit to the simplicity of settling for less than what they really value in life. But for other people, they might just be completely happy smoking weed, eating junk food, and working an underpaying job. And like, again, no matter how hard you try, that person might not change because their values are more in alignment with that lifestyle than whatever lifestyle you're trying to offer them by trying to convince them that the grass is greener on the other side and they should change. And as a personal trainer, I would have been so much more effective and my job would have been way less stressful if I would have understood what value systems really are and understood how vitally important values really are in every single, and just in every area of life, in psychology, in health, and in well-being. Other people who might pay you for personal training, for example. So this is actually a good example. But let me just finish explaining what value systems are. The personality types that you like in other people. Okay. Does it matter more to you that people have upbeat energy and they're highly positive and they always have new things to say and they're highly extroverted, or would you rather be around someone who's like really low energy, they're really chill, they're laid back, and they're kind of more silent, or maybe they're just lower energy, or whatever it is? Neither is good or bad, but depending on your value system, you're going to think one is better than the other. And this is important because a lot of problems with self-esteem that human beings have comes from a lack of understanding compatibility based on value systems. People mistakenly fully identify with their value system to the point where they think every single person who does not share the same values with you is bad, they're sinning, or they're living outside of alignment with, like they're living a bad life. They're living toxic life, right? For me, like, as you know, I really value health. I value the deeper understanding of life, and I value ultimate truth. So for me, let's just say valuing ultimate truth. For me, it's very important to look for the evidence behind claims that are made by spiritual teachers, for example. You know, where's the evidence and what's the history behind the book that you're citing all the time, right? And if the evidence points towards it originating from like multiple different people from multiple different parts of, the Middle East, and they all actually believe in different doctrines. One is Buddhist, one believes in the Quran or something. You know what I mean? And they compile them together and call it one other religion. This is supposed to be the ultimate religion. Like, to me, I'm like, that just sounds, it just doesn't make, to me, that's just irrational, right? But the thing is, I actually value rational thinking. It doesn't mean I'm smarter than you. Doesn't mean I'm better than you. What it means is I have a different value system. Okay? And the reason why I value that is because I believe my approach to deciphering this information in a rational way is going to bring me closer to my ultimate goals. It's going to make me more fulfilled somehow. It's going to make me waste less time and energy on things that don't matter to me, basically. And for me, looking for ultimate truth, for whatever reason, I subconsciously or consciously believe it's going to bring me closer to fulfillment. Now, people who believe in Christianity, for example, their value systems in regards to spirituality are completely different than mine. They may have other kind of value systems in the background in their life that are very much compatible with mine, and so we might become good friends, but just their value systems about rational thinking might be completely different, okay? And you could be an atheist. You could literally be an atheist and share the same kind of intellectual or spiritual value system as a Christian. But you won't recognize it if you just look at value systems through, or if you look at it as a battle of belief systems. The same way that somebody who's a Republican could literally have the same political or the same intellectual value systems as someone who's Democrat. But because they have differing beliefs and they think that that is actually what matters, they can't see that their desire to constantly kind of argue with each other is actually governed by the same exact value system. Because they don't see things on this deeper level. They just see things as, oh, that person believes something different than me, therefore we have differing belief systems. But what's guiding their decision-making process and how they and what they believe and how they believe what they believe are completely different things. And this is very interesting. And I actually am kind of annoyed just talking about this because I know that most people are not in anywhere near the capacity of, I guess, the IQ level or something to be able to contemplate this, right? They just think, oh, I believe in Christianity and he's an atheist, therefore they have different approaches to spirituality than me or something. But here's a better kind of way to put it. So I'm just going to say this, and I'm sorry if I offend anyone, but there's a lot of very highly paranoid conspiracy theory people on my comment section that might be saying things that are very similar to what I'm saying, right? They might believe in certain things about, like, let's just say viruses, for example. Let's put it that way. You know what I'm talking about, right? They might be saying the same things that I'm saying, like, build your immunity, you don't need drugs. There's probably some deeper conspiracies going on with why they're handling these viruses the way they are. But we have two completely different value systems that are guiding why we believe what we do about viruses. One person, they might just really hate the government or something, or they might just maybe their mother or their parents were like this and kind of like influenced them to think that, you know, you can never believe what you hear in the news and this and that and always be paranoid or whatever. Or maybe, you know, they got sent to jail for something that they feel was unfair, and now all of a sudden they have this very anarchist view. And what really matters to them is getting revenge on the government. Or what really matters to them is kind of reinforcing the beliefs that their parents kind of instilled in them when they were a child. And that could lead them to saying, you know, believing the very same things that I believe about viruses. But for me, I might have come to my beliefs about viruses, you know, from, well, maybe it started as like, oh, I was wronged by the pharmaceutical companies or something, right? They gave me 10 years of treatment on really harsh drugs that actually ruined my quality of life, and I might have been misdiagnosed. And I'm pissed off now. And then further, I have all these health problems that I seek help for in doctors, and they can't help me. So that will make me a little salty. It'll make me a little resentful. But eventually I grow out of it. I become a rational human being. And I'm no longer care about any of that. Like, I got over the pain of being wronged by the medical system. And I got over the saltiness that doctors are taught, you know, they're taught things that help them with certain things in medicine, but they're not taught everything. I'm over all that. So now, but the thing is, I was like, man, I just want to get healthy. All right. And because health mattered so much to me, I was looking so hard for the truth about how health works, because that's what was valuable to me. So that value system of finding the truth and that value system of like my health matters, feeling good matters, led me to discovering all of this health knowledge I have now. And it was actually the desire of truth that led me to believe what I believe about viruses. But other people, they don't really care about truth. Lots and lots of people get really emotional in comments. If I make a video like doctors are not evil, right? That's like the title. And I go on and on about how I used to believe that they were, but now I realize most of them just want to help people, right? Most doctors, their value system is like, it matters to me to change as many lives as I possibly can. That's their value systems. Other doctors, their value system is I just want to make a lot of money, you know? But these people in the comments can't see that there's different value systems in different people. Instead, they're just like, ooh, doctor bad, or whatever. It doesn't even matter if it's doctor or lawyer, right? They're just like, that person does this or does that. They are a girl or they are a guy or they are a doctor or they are a lawyer or they are whatever. Or he and they stereotype and they overgeneralize, right? All women are more emotional. All men are this. And it's like, that is such a lack of intelligence. It's a lack of value. They don't really care about truth. And no matter how much I try to explain things to them or question or try to help guide them towards a better understanding, only people who care about truth or value deeper understanding are going to be willing to listen to what I have to say and change their belief system. And those people exist, but remember, belief systems are very deceptive because it doesn't really matter what people believe on the surface. What matters is their intentions and what got them to believe that way. So tracking back to value systems, there's people out there that believe in, that viruses aren't really that bad, and if you build resilience and stuff like that, they might believe that because they've seen scientific research, because they value truth, they've seen it in their own experiences, and that matters more than what they're being told by the masses. Other people, what matters most is just being safe and comfortable and just like the path of least resistance. Everyone tells them to get the thing, right? Get the, what I'm talking about. Drink the juice. You know what I mean? And it's like, you'll have a job and you'll be safe and the government will like you or whatever it is, right? So in their value system is, I just want to be safe. I don't want to deal with it. It's too much kind of complication. And really, it's too much stress for me to even listen to what Wolfgang has to say or read the research Wolfgang has to say. It doesn't matter to me. I just want to live my normal life with as little stress as possible, right? That's a different value system to me because I'm like, man, I want to find the truth. All these other motherfuckers, they're just going to drink the coffee. I need to find out, is it worth drinking the coffee? That's what I care about. And then you have people who are like, no, if you drink the coffee, you're a freaking like tenfold, or you're a sheep. You're a sheeple. And it's like, I could have similar values to these people, and we'd be saying the same, or I could have similar beliefs, since I could be saying the same thing as someone else, but we have different value systems that got us there. And so, who do you like? If we have these extreme people who are like, no, you're all sheep. Viruses are not bad. You need to build immunity. You know what I mean? Like if you take the juice, you're a sheeple. I'm not gonna. For me personally, I don't want to hang out with people like that. Those people are not fun for me to hang out with. It's like, well, but we believe in the same thing. Like I could literally, I could know someone who's like, yeah, I'm on a carnivore diet, right? And you know what I mean? I'm a carnivore person, right? And I could be on a carnivore diet too. And at first I might be like, oh, cool, this guy values deeper truth. That's why he's on a carnivore diet. But then he's all dogmatic about it. He's like, the carnivore diet's the best thing ever. And like, it's like, bro, like, the carnivore diet is magic and plants will kill you. And I'm like, wait a second. Like, I thought he valued deep truth. What about this study? What about the possibility of this? And then he'll get angry at me. He's like, no, that's not true. Again, it's not about beliefs. It's about value systems. He's in some dogma, and reinforcing the dogma matters more than finding the truth. My values are like trying to find truth. So we're not really going to be compatible about carnivore diet talk at this point. Because he's got some immature, in my opinion, like it's a different value system. To me, I think that's immature, but again, it's value systems. So, a lot of people don't value the truth, right? And so your relationships are going to be based on that, right? Your ability to change, right? So if you're having trouble picking up an exercise routine and losing weight because you can't stay consistent, okay? Let's say you have depression, and you eat junk food whenever you're depressed, okay? If you think that junk food is going to make you feel better, and what really matters to you is relieving the depression and feeling better, then you're going to constantly engage in behaviors that are in alignment with what matters the most to you in the short term. You're going to constantly eat junk food because you think it's going to make you feel better, because you're associating that short-term satisfaction, really the relief of relieving that craving with junk food. You're associating that with improving your depression, okay? Maybe subconsciously. What the problem is, as a trainer, me trying to tell someone in that situation to eat healthier, bro. Like, it's going to help you with your goals. You're going to lose weight and stuff like that. The truth is, that person may be trying to lose weight, maybe paying for a trainer to help them lose weight because they think weight loss can help with their depression. And maybe they think exercise can help with their depression. To get them to actually commit to the gym, to get them to actually engage in the right nutritional strategies, a good coach can't look on the surface and think, oh, that person's just lazy. That's why they're just eating the junk food. Or that person is, you can't motivate that person by saying, hey man, if you just eat this this diet, you're going to lose weight. If you just come to the gym on a regular basis, just go through the motions, man, even when you don't want to, you're going to lose weight. Human beings will always resort to, number one, the path of least resistance, the path that gives them more pleasure and less pain. And number two, but the more important part is, people will not engage in a behavior unless it aligns with their perceived values, what matters the most to them, okay? And so you have, as a coach, you have to convince that person of that if you eat the right diet and you avoid that junk food, something very powerful that really matters to you is going to happen. And the real problem with this is they are not going to realize how much healthy eating matters to them until they've done it for long enough, and until they followed a diet that gives them what they really want. People think they want weight loss. People think that they want to be healthy. But a lot of people engage in this behavior for different things. It means something different to them. It's operating from different values. Some people, they want to socialize. They just want a health club where they can meet a bunch of different people who are kind of like goal-oriented or something, right? And so they go to the gym to socialize. And that's really what they go for, but they justify it as trying to be healthy. Some people do it because they do have a health problem. They know they're going to die. How many times, if they don't do something about it, how many times have you heard you don't know what you had until it's gone? A lot of times that's just like an experience of a shift in values. If you don't have any health problems, you don't really care too much about your health. If you don't have any dire problems. But what happens when your doctor tells you you're going to die of diabetes, or you have type 2 diabetes, like a severe case? And if you do this diet, you can change. Some people still won't change, but a lot of people will be like, whoa, oh my God, I have my kids that matter to me. I have my career that matters to me. I love life so much that I need to make a change so that I can continue to do what matters most to me. All right? At that point, when you feel like you're going to die, that's when all of your values come into place. They come to the forefront. Because you never knew how much health mattered to you till it's gone. And really, most people without health problems are still not healthy. Most people, if they ate the way that I talk about eating and they take tonic herbs and stuff, they'll experience a feeling of vitality and enthusiasm for life that is like godlike and is motivating in and of itself. But they don't even know that shit exists because they've never done it and they never experienced it. So of course it's not in alignment with their values. So people will whittle waddle and kind of do a wishy-washy kind of exercise routine and stuff until it really matters to them. And once it does, when that doctor's like, bro, you're going to die in like 6 months unless you do this exercise routine, now all of a sudden exercise matters. Now all of a sudden their values are like, health is part of their value system, because the contrast is death. And if they don't focus on their health, they're going to die. Same thing goes with relationships. So this is key. A lot of relationships are not founded on what your internal values are. So it's very important not to really care so much about, looks I think should be important for people, but what should really be important is, so for example, for me, I desire ultimate truth. I recognize these days that there's other things in women that matter more to me. They're more important than just like someone else who seeks ultimate truth. In a partner, I might want a girl who doesn't value ultimate truth, maybe because learning more about someone with a different value system can bring me closer to ultimate truth. That's one way that a competing value system can actually be in alignment with my values. As long as that doesn't cause conflict, right? Maybe I value someone who doesn't take life too seriously, even though they value ultimate truth, like myself. They recognize that the ultimate truth is that the truth doesn't actually even fucking matter, which is profound. When you realize, oh shit, what's going to happen when I find the truth behind life, right? What am I going to do then? Live my life, right? It was like, so anyway, part of my value system with a female is like, at this point I'm like, well, actually, if she goes to the gym with me and she's willing to support me in my journey to becoming a world champion in jiu-jitsu, and she is willing to pursue her own goals and stuff like that, maybe you value a girl who's goal oriented. Maybe you value a girl who also seeks ultimate truth. Maybe you want a girl who you can seek ultimate truth together. Those are parts of your value systems. And the number one reason why couples have conflicts is because they have different value systems. Let's think about money. One person might be more nonchalant with their money. They might be more easygoing, and their philosophy towards money is money always comes, right? There's always going to be another paycheck, therefore I can be a little bit flexible with my money. Another person might be really strict with money, and they might be like, no, everything has to be organized and structured. We can't spend any money that we're not absolutely confident that we can spend or whatever. Everything has to be serious with money. Those two value systems are going to have a lot of problems working together, right? One person values flexibility and nonchalantness with their money. Maybe they're a minimalist and they only buy, whatever. What you believe about money and how you approach money, that has to do with your value systems surrounding finances. And it is not possible to have a healthy relationship with two different value systems surrounding money. But if you have two people who have the same value systems with money, as long as that value system is not toxic or pathogenic, right? A toxic value system would be like, spend as much money as you want, bro. It doesn't matter. And if we go broke, trust in God or something. Like, that's a good way to lose your house and just have a whole lot of problems happen. And then it's like, do you value suffering? Because if you don't want to suffer, you need to address money. That's actually where value systems start to get complicated. So let's say that you're like, oh, I'm just going to value my strengths, right? Like, I'm really good at English class, right? And what matters to me is capitalize on my strengths. So in school, you're really good at English and you want to capitalize on your strengths and just focus on that. Well, what if your math is failing, right? You may not care about math at all. It may not matter at all to you, right? So what do? You just don't do math? Well, here's where value systems get more complicated and deeper than that. Do you value good grades? Does that matter to you? If good grades matter to you, well, then you're going to do whatever it takes to try to get good math grades. You might go get tutors. You might just read a book about it. You might play math, like multiplication table rap songs like I used to do, and I'd fall asleep to them, and I'd wake up and I'd have the whole mathematic equations memorized from that. You'll do, yeah, that's what I did. That's what my mom did for me, and it worked. My mom was very smart with that somehow. But anyway, value systems are not as simple as just like, well, does this matter to me or not? It's like a whole kind of cascade of intertwining kind of webs of decision making and from point A to point B to point C and then everything in between. You know what I mean? So let's say you're in a relationship with a girl. Here's another one. It's like, let's say you're in a relationship with a girl and you have different value systems to money, and that's causing a lot of conflicts with the girl, right? Well, how much does the relationship matter to you versus how you feel about money, right? Your value system surrounding how you approach money may matter to you, but your relationship with your girlfriend may actually matter way more. And so that's where compromises come into play, where you might be willing to compromise your beliefs about money so that your relationship with your girlfriend gets better. And a big thing here, and I don't recommend you making compromises with how you approach money unless it's going to produce some kind of success in the long term, because that can easily backfire if your ideas around finances is not rational and makes you poor, right? If it makes you poor, it doesn't matter how much you value your relationship with your girlfriend. Your survival needs need to be like number one, right? And actually, that's an important thing is you can use Maslow's hierarchy of needs. If you don't know what that is, you need to go back to fucking school. Maslow's hierarchy of needs, you learn that in your first college level psychology class. I think you learn that in like high school psychology. And that's a good kind of foundation for value systems. It kind of lays out the foundation of what should matter the most, and that would be like, do I have shelter? Do I have food? And stuff like that. And if you're having trouble maintaining shelter and food, you need to address your value systems and take a really serious reflection on that. And then create a value system that's more conducive to maintaining like stability in your life. And then from there, there's like spiritual needs, relationship needs, self-actualization needs. And all of those things are a good blueprint to kind of construct your value system, right? But yeah, it's a greater good type of thing, right? Let's say you have a job opportunity, right? And it's like, oh, I can make all this money if I abandon my life in San Antonio and I'm in Texas and I move to California, right? I can make a shit ton of money if I abandon my life in Texas and I move to California, okay? And California has the beach and the weather and it's really nice quality of living, you think. Okay, well, let's think about some of the problems with that. Well, first of all, you're abandoning stability in Texas, okay? And so stability is going down the drain when you move to California from Texas. You've never been in this job before. You don't know if it's even going to work out. You might get fired on the first day. Second thing is, well, you know, it's nice weather in California and stuff like that. Texas is not really good weather in your perception, right? Well, what about this? When you move to California, I mean, everyone should know this by now. California's cost of living is ridiculous. And their gas prices are insane. And there's a lot of problems with living in California, okay? And you don't even know if that job's going to work out, right? But you live on the beach and like, you know, there's a nicer, you know, whatever it is. And and you're going to make a lot more money working there. So then you got to ask yourself, you know, it's a matter of value systems. It's like, what compromises am I willing to make to reach the greater good of my value system, right? What matters the most is really going to be the determining factor in the decision you make. So this is very kind of like flexible, universal thing that can apply to fucking everything. The most important thing you can do, though, is understand what value systems are, how deep it goes, the interrelationships between different value systems and the compromises you make, and then also understanding, like, again, my value system might be seeking deeper truth, but also having a good time in life, but also getting better at jujitsu, having a process of mastery that I keep getting better at over time, right? And like another person might not value ultimate truth. They might value just like believing whatever they need to believe to feel safe and comfortable, right? And that's fine. We can still have an amazing time together as long as our time together is focused on relating based on our compatible value systems, okay? If someone doesn't value ultimate truth, they're very unwilling to, or maybe they value self-improvement, but they don't value ultimate truth. Well, if they value self-improvement, that's a value system that can eventually make them realize that they actually value ultimate truth as well. That goes really deep, man. And it's a very powerful thing when you start to understand that. So your relationships in life are completely like based upon how many points of your value system are compatible. And again, you don't need to have the same value systems on every single mark checked off. And you can have no value systems in common per se, right? We all have different value, like all of our value systems are completely different. But what values you do hold can be compatible. Like I was mentioning earlier, I value ultimate truth. And my quest for ultimate truth has led me to understand that, holy shit, like, part of ultimate truth is that ultimate truth in life doesn't matter. Or part of my quest for ultimate truth has led me to see that truth is subjective. And maybe whatever ultimate truth you personally believe becomes your ultimate truth by the nature of self-fulfilling prophecies, right? At that point, it's like, wow, the ultimate truth doesn't matter as much as my happiness per se. So I want someone who doesn't give a fuck about ultimate truth. Because otherwise we're going to have a long-ass, hour-long conversation about ultimate truth. Meanwhile, the whole world's passing us by. Let's say I have a relationship with another philosophy-minded person. Now I'm like, all fucking day long, we're just chatting about philosophy and we're enjoying it. Meanwhile, we don't get shit done in life or whatever it is. Right? I'm trying to have sex with a girl, damn it. And I can't because we're just having like sex with our minds, right? I don't know. Part of me feels like that would be fun. But anyway, I'm going to stop it there because I hope that that's been good enough for value systems and people understand it. But yeah, value systems are not as simple as like, yeah, I value honesty and loyalty. You know, it's like some girl might smoke marijuana. She might, repost memes all day. Her whole life revolves around marijuana. And, she has no intention at all of like learning about why she should overcome those kind of vices to get better. It's like, but she might be completely happy. It's like, well, if I really value having a girl that's like self-motivated, ambitious, and striving for more in life and this and that, and I value, for whatever reason, being clean from marijuana, which, by the way, for me, it's not a deal breaker. You know what I mean? Marijuana is not a huge problem, but it just depends on other things. If she's like an alcoholic or something and she always eats pizza and is not willing to give it up, to me, it's like, probably completely different values. I'm like, I wouldn't be happy with myself if I was dating a girl who had such a different value system surrounding health and self-improvement. Like, you don't have to be like this goal-minded girl. I realize these days I don't really want a girl highly ambitious like that. I want a girl I'm able to enjoy life with. She's ambitious enough to where she's going to, maybe get a degree, or she has some kind of passion. She has some kind of process of mastery going on. And she doesn't have toxic habits, right? But the thing is, if I can make a compromise for these fundamental value systems, there's going to be a lack of happiness in my own life because you have to clash the value systems. That's how relationships work, right? Every conversation you have with someone, your value systems are working underneath it. So anyway, All right, I gotta get ready for jiu-jitsu. I'm gonna get my tonic elixir going on, and then get some jiu-jitsu in. This has been a really awesome conversation. I know I enjoyed it because one of my values are like, stimulating my mind from the internal. I'm generating state from within, and I'm pushing that outward. And that's why I don't have scripts, and I just don't care enough about outlines and blueprints. And I think that's why a lot of people will actually listen to me talk about shit like this for an hour, right? Or Joe Rogan or whatever. Just so happens that this will probably change your life. Have a good day.